Today was the final day for EAA Airventure. After a week of fun, event organizers described the event as a very successful turnout. EAA CEO Jack Pelton said in terms of numbers, they believe they're going to close out 2021 with a total of about 608,000 attendees. He also said they had about 22,000 aircraft movements during the week and approximately 17,000 aircrafts parked on the ground with no planes being turned away. In addition, no injuries were reported during the week. A Wisconsin high school is just one of a few across the nation that offers a youth aviation program for students. NBC 26's Valerie Juarez talked to a team at EAA to see what they've learned.
They're preparing to be the future leaders of the aviation industry.
We are working on building a plane and getting pilot's license.
The teens starting out at such a young age. The hope for Airventure is to gain a better perspective for the aviation industry.
We went to a couple of talks, which was super cool. Izzy and I actually got to see a presentation about a spy plane, which was awesome. And then we all went to a human factors session, which was really cool. And now we're gonna go check out the seaplane base.
Like I myself, I'm looking to go into human factors psychology and studying like aeronautical and aerospace, specifically in the aviation industry. And I feel like because of this, a lot more of our group is going to look into that as potential routes to go.
And for others attending Airventure, they've proven that age is simply a number. No matter how old or young you are, you always have the ability to make your dreams come true.
I was young, I always dreamed about being this man which is driving an airplane.
I'm thinking a long time ago, but I start getting my classes. So next year I'll be a private pilot. My dream is I can get SR-22. That's my dream is.
For a staff sergeant in the Air Force, he leaves everyone with one piece of advice, that you can do it too.
I just say, chase what you can and, follow your dream. It's very attainable. It's very fun, and I don't take any of my experience for granted.
In Oshkosh, Valerie Juarez, NBC 26.
Thank you, Valerie. And some pilots flew again in front of crowds for the first time in almost 2 years this week. A pilot with Geico Skytoppers out of Long Island, New York, who flies World War II airplanes, said he was able to make it to a few shows at the end of 2020, but the pandemic caused a lot of problems for those working in aviation.
In the beginning of the year, everything was canceled. There's several that we were supposed to go to, and one by one, it's like, okay, maybe if we get through this, we can do this one. They're like, no, this is a bigger thing than anyone expected, and I mean, who would expect anything like that to happen in this world?
The pilots said one of the best parts about being back at air shows is seeing old friends for the first time in years. Well, despite a few showers, our weekend looked wonderful. With more on what we can expect this week, here's meteorologist Gino Recchia.
Hey, Caroline, we're going to start to warm things up just a little bit. Slowly but surely, we're going to get above average. Temperatures tomorrow are going to get into the upper 70s. Today, we struggled to even get into the mid 70s, so a couple degrees on top of that. We'll have partly cloudy skies to mostly sunny. Right now, it's quiet across our area. We have mostly clear to partly cloudy skies, and that's going to allow those temperatures to fall off into the mid 50s overnight tonight. Right now, we're seeing anywhere from the lower 60s and even a couple upper 50s out there. Coming up in the main forecast, though, mid and upper 80s return. I'll have the details.
Thank you, Gino. The fight over pandemic eviction relief is ramping up. Democrats now trying to get benefits extended for the millions who could be knocked out of their homes this week. Here's Ali Vitali.
I'm behind 4 months, and the landlord is at this point just waiting, I guess, for the sheriffs.
Sierra Green is just waiting for a knock on her door.
To them, I'm already evicted.
Green is one of 6 million Americans behind on rent because of the pandemic. With the national eviction moratorium now lapsed, she's among the millions who could be put out on the street. But House lawmakers left town for a 6-week recess.
We need to be brought back to this House to finish this work so that people don't end up on the street while we go vacation.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi looking to the Centers for Disease Control.
So we would like the CDC to expand the moratorium, that's where it can be done.
The White House, meanwhile, looking to the states, urging them to dole out billions in emergency rental funds that have been slow getting out the door.
That money is there. They need to move that money to those renters and those landlords immediately.
Landlords out $21 billion over the last year. In the meantime, experts urging renters and landlords alike to work together.
If you know that the dollars are going to be coming and the person is actually working with you cooperatively, it doesn't make any sense to evict.
Back in Washington, a long-awaited delivery. The text of a $550 billion bipartisan infrastructure bill clocking in at more than 2,000 pages, setting the stage for one of Democrats' top policy priorities.
In a recent U.S. Census Bureau survey, nearly 30,000 Wisconsinites said they were either highly or somewhat likely to be evicted within the next 2 months. Of those, only about 12,000 said they were currently working. And the United States is also facing a COVID reckoning. Health officials warning things may get worse amid renewed concerns over children and classroom reopenings. Here's Vaughn Hilliard in Florida.
The United States topping 100,000 new coronavirus cases just Friday, a stunning fourth wave, with the number of infections and seriousness of the moment rising each day.
Things are going to get worse. If you look at the acceleration of the number of cases, the 7-day average has gone up substantially.
The virus surging in states from the west to the east, cases doubling in more than 40 of them over the last 2 weeks.
This is a Class 5 hurricane.
More Florida residents tested positive for COVID this weekend than at any other point during the pandemic. Hospitals in Jacksonville and Orlando are already breaking previous hospitalization records. In neighboring Alabama, more than 1,200 people are currently hospitalized, and COVID unit doctors say August will be even worse.
The number of cases by Labor Day will be more than twice the number of cases we saw at the worst time in January. That's what we're about to face, and the public isn't ready for that.
And in Texas, overwhelmed hospitals struggling to hire additional nurses and staff.
They're not finding the uptake even dramatically increasing the pay they pay.
40% of the country is still not fully vaccinated, and those individuals are making up more than 90% of COVID hospitalizations, forcing hospitals today to build out new COVID units, this one in Baton Rouge.
In the last 24 hours, we opened up our 4th COVID ICU because of the surge of patients requiring critical care. Younger and sicker quicker. They're just getting sick very quickly.
Among the 100 million unvaccinated, some encouraging news, vaccination rates doubling this week in several hotspots.
This may be a tipping point for those who have been hesitant to say, okay, it's time.
All this while Chicago's major music festival Lollapalooza continues on tonight as Americans try to hold on to what the country hoped would be its Renaissance summer.
Still ahead on NBC 26, things were chilly this weekend, but it's going to heat up this week. Gino Recchia gives us a full forecast coming up next.